Hey everybody, this is Keith from the lightest side of true crime, and I am chatting with Staxx.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Keith. What's up, man?
So I'm originally took him to the hospital. I was like, all right, I understand. No more yard for me. Same with Manson. Manson stayed away from the yard for the most part. Now there's cages that you can go out the outside, but you're in like a kind of secluded cage kind of a thing. But for the most part, you got to keep you away from general population because there's people who are ready to make a name for themselves by taking you out.
Manson, I heard he was in prison.
I don't know. Could be. I mean, his whole entire life was in prison, so could be. I mean, he's only 4 foot tall. I mean, the guy's a half a midget. You know, he's not that he's going to be able to defend himself too much in there. But for the most part, he kept to himself. You know, those guys do. I mean, obviously, look what happened with Dahmer. Now, for Dahmer, granted, he had a target on his back, but he did himself in. I know people at the prison. I've talked to Scarver a few times, actually the person who killed him. So I knew people in this facility. He would have been better off if he just kept his mouth shut. But he was doing the document or the Netflix show. I think they touched on it a little bit, if I remember right. He would eat food. He got like French fries with ketchup, and he's like, "Oh, look, a leg." And he's like eating a leg. He was freaking everybody out. Numerous people, including Scarver, told him, "Stop it. You know, stop messing with everybody. You're freaking everybody out." He kept pushing and kept pushing and kept pushing. That's what really got him killed. It wasn't just his notoriety. It's like, you want to shut up about, you know, freaky things like eating people and stuff like that. That's what really got him killed. But
what did he say happened? The man that killed Dahmer. What did he tell you exactly what happened?
No, he didn't go into details. He just saying, and along with a few other people too, no name people, that's why. It's just because he was freaking people out, especially eating his food. Everybody would say it was the French fries mostly. French fries dipped into ketchup, and like you like lick it and eat it. Oh, look, a leg. I'm eating a leg. I'm eating a foot, and it's start freaking people out. So that's basically the gist of what happened with him.
Did you ever have anybody that really sent chills down your spine?
No, I've been doing it so long, I'm kind of numb to it a bit. But I would say the only time when a letter, I mean, a lot of people have tablets, like I said, but I still get letters from a few people. But the only two that still, like, I'll open the letter right away. Sometimes I might open a letter for a day or two, you know, or after dinner I might open it up. But when BTK, when I see his name, Dennis Rader, you know, from Kansas, when that letter comes, that's the one I still, because I only talk to him a couple times a year. I don't talk to him on a regular basis. And he ain't going to make it too much longer. You have so many illnesses, from heart issues, some colitis in his stomach, needs to be wheelchaired around everywhere. I have a lot of artwork from him, but he can barely even do artwork anymore. But still, when BTK sent a letter, it's, let me open this one up a little bit and see what he says. He has the guy, I have a couple of articles that have been recently done about me. They are fascinated by BTK. You know, I showed them the Christmas cards that he sent me, things like that. But that's the name that kind of I take pause on. And BTK. Maybe because I don't know him personally that well. We've only spoken maybe a couple times a year, so not really on that you know, I won't say friendship level. Maybe just a few times. So that name, and although I've done many projects with the son of Sam, David Berkowitz, I've known him pretty well. I talked to him a lot. I still take a little pause just because I guess the name. Just the name itself, you know, it struck fear in so many people. And most people don't know who he is. They still think he's this person he was decades ago. And now he's like a big fluffy teddy bear kind of a thing, a Christian guy. And those who were doubtful of him have seen him in person, who aren't even religious people, left saying, "Oh, this guy's he's definitely a changed man, for sure." But still, just the name Dennis David Berkowitz is definitely can give you a little chill when you think about it.
Did you ever hear of a person when they're talking to you, you're like, this guy's straight full of he didn't change?
Oh yeah. Oh, there's a lot. Yeah, I mean, I want to say a lot profess their innocence. You know, the Trailside Killer, David Carpenter. You know, he always professed his innocence. You know, I'm not really sure about that. You know, Paul Doziero out of Florida had him on. I'm not really sure about that. You know, a lot do. I mean, most behind bars will say they're innocent. I mean, not too many are saying they're guilty. You know, and certainly not coming on a podcast. If they come on a podcast, they're definitely saying, you know, one, we usually don't talk about the case, but there's a lot. You know, there's a lot who profess their innocence. Pamela Smart, remember her from the 80s? You know, got the girl she was dating, a guy she was dating, killed her husband, him and her friends. She still won't give it up. After all these years, she got denied parole. So she was going to get parole, but no, that got denied. Yeah, I mean, that's one where one of the books I wrote really focused on people's religion or their faith, Christianity. Is it real? Like a Berkowitz is kind of real. Charles Watson, Bruce Davis, certain ones you believe are real. And then there's those who put a show on for the parole board. Pamela, I think, was one of them where, I don't see, was she a chaplain or something like that, or helping women out there? I think it might have been chaplain too, where it's, no, you got no shot. Somebody to see right through. And right away. I mean, I've been doing it so long too. And you write somebody when they're friends, you can see right through if they're just being nice to me because they want something, they want money, they want commissary, they want books. I've learned to see through that, pretty quickly. So I get my DS readers pretty in tune for the most part. When they're full of crap, when they're not. Yeah, but that's a lot. I mean, a lot of them say they're innocent, but I mean, if you know the case, you're like, no way. It's just let them forget about DNA and everything else. It's just full of crap.
You have like guidelines for them to come on your show. Do they have to kill a certain amount of people? Like, what's the guideline for them to come on?
Oh, not at all. Listen, I mean, I do like to try to focus on those that I think have a brain abnormality, like not just evil for the sake of being evil. Like I said, like a blood and a crip, the gangster, that kind of a thing, where it's like a lifestyle, not so much, a compulsion, but no, I have detectives, I have authors, I have every different, any different kind of person on the show. If it's something I think can be beneficial and helpful to other people, or get some kind of word out there, or just something interesting. I mean, there's somebody I talk to that, have a hard time communicating, like the cross-dressing cannibal Haddon Clark. He's been on a few times, and they just did Michael Bay just did a documentary about him, which was really good. But he was supposed to talk about his crimes for the first time on that Michael Bay's documentary, but he didn't because they had an agreement that Michael, according to him, Michael didn't comply with. So he didn't talk about the crime. That's why mostly was about the interrogation. So he came on my podcast for the first time to talk about the crimes, why he did it, why he killed the girls and stuff like that, which was, that wasn't an easy listen because there were children involved. So a lot of people had a hard time listening to that. But it was the first time publicly he talked about the crime. So I thought it was important. Okay, this is why he did it. And his reason why he did it, whether it's true or not, at least gave him the platform to do it. But he was severely mentally ill, schizophrenic. I mean, there's a lot of things. It's hard to have a straight conversation with him about anything for that matter. Yeah, but it's, like I said, for the most part, I think if you have something interesting to say, you can be beneficial. You can come on.
Is there any other names that stand out in your mind, whether it's women? And who do you enjoy having on, women or males?
Oh, it really doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, I think we got to have a good connection. Like, we'll talk on the phone a bunch because there's a few people I would probably have on the show if they wanted to. But if I ask them a question, they give like a one-word answer. Like the Speed Freak killer, Wesley Sherman. He said he was going to come on. He still might come on. He's battling some sicknesses right now. But he wrote like a 64-page letter, the funniest things you've ever heard, just these childhood romps and sexual escapades and sleeping with his cousins and all the funniest things you've ever heard. But I get him on a phone call. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Good.
Yeah.
It is thank God there's not a shot in hell. I can't carry that much, I can talk pretty good, but that's going to be a tough one, so I'm not sure he's going to be the best one to have on the podcast. Although maybe we'll see. When he's feeling a little better, we'll give it another shot. But I think you can talk good. You got some stories and you can communicate well. I'll have you on. Joseph Danks was another one at San Quentin's death row. Well, they kind of abandoned most of death row. Like 90% of the guys on death row are now different facilities now, lower level facilities, more level 2. But the ones who need the most help, like Joseph Danks, the Koreatown slasher, he's still there. I was just talking to him. He was on a podcast, and he was one I was like, I'm not really sure how, because he's schizophrenic, hears voices, see things. I'm sure this one's going to go. End up being a freaking blast. End up being great. He had a guitar with him. I grabbed my guitar. I'm jamming with him live on the video chat, live on death row. I'm a serial killer jamming in San Quentin's death row. I don't think anybody else in the world can say that. It was a great podcast. It was a freaking blast. So you never know. Someone's, I think, how this is going to go. It went freaking tremendous. There's other people like even William Howe when he was on. We'll talk and laugh forever on the phone. Started out a little slow. I'm like, man, I hope this guy picks it up a little bit. And finally he did. It would end up being a great podcast. But sometimes you don't even know, until when you get them starting to talk, or like when the lights go on, so to speak. Some people shut down, some people, light up, and yeah. But it's like I said, you never quite. You get a good idea, but you never quite know. It seems to be the more creative ones, like Wayne Garrison, serial killer. I think it was Oklahoma. I think he's in. One of the most creative guys I've ever seen. Not only a great artist, but look at this.
What's that out of?
Nothing. He out of like the cardboard that the commissary comes in, like our lunch comes in, the plastics from like peanut butter containers.
What?
He was a mechanic. Signs it on the bottom. There's engines. I have like 5 or 6 of different types of cars. That it's the most mind-blowing thing you've ever seen. And it's amazing. I mean, some of the artwork that I have, even like Jesper's, well, Martin Kipp, another guy, since I have this one right next to me. Martin Kipp, who was friends with Rich Ramirez. They live right next to each other, knew each other for years. He had some great Rich Ramirez stories when he called the podcast. He just started, this is like his second or third piece he's ever done.
Wow.
And I don't know, I have countless pieces of his artwork. But just the creativity that they have there. The Happy Face Killer is probably the most sought after one. I was like, I probably have, I don't know, 80 pieces of artwork of his, but they're massive pieces. This is Pink Floyd The Wall he did for me. See if I can hold it where you can see it.
Wow, that's cool. Can you explain what the Happy Face...
Hey, welcome to the lighter side of true crime with Kai the Hatchet-wielding hitchhiker and Keith Rovere. Smash, smash, smash.